Welcome back to That's So Bro Season 3 with Joshan and Amanda. And Amanda, what do we have here today?
Today we have a very, very special guest who's going to talk about two very interesting topics, one of which we kind of know about, the second one we definitely know about. That is Mr. Prasanna Padmanathan. How's it going?
Hi, Mr. Prasanna.
Hi, how are you guys?
Very good, very good. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
First of all, we need to commend your hairstyle. Love it.
Oh, yeah. I think we are twinning here.
Gorgeous hair, loving it. Yeah. Yes, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm currently a corporate trainer, so I run a company called Ultima Consulting and Training. So I've trained almost 145 organizations in Sri Lanka, over 12,000 people that I've trained, and also I've trained close to 35 nationalities around the world on multiple topics. I'm also a lecturer in multiple universities. I teach strategic marketing, strategic HR. I teach fashion marketing and branding. Also, I do guest lectures in international universities. Other than that, I'm also working at fashion industry at the moment. I'm currently heading the Colombo Fashion Council. So I do fashion choreography, fashion show direction, fashion styling, etc., predominantly in other countries. So, in briefly, yeah.
He's the guy, you know, your parents will say, he also has two hands, he has two legs, why can't you do it?
This is Johnny's in South Sri Lanka. It's like, have you done it? Prasanna's already done it. Yeah, so you mentioned something about personal branding during our pre-podcast. Yeah. I really want to know, what is personal branding?
So this is something that a lot of organizations request me to do trainings on. So personal branding is what other people talk about you when you're not in the room.
Oh, nice. That's a very nice way to put it.
Yeah. Where, you know, for a fact, like, you know, people say you're that, you're this, and then you just walk out. They're like, moo.
Yeah,
right. You know about her. You know, people start talking about these things, right? So it's all about the perception or the positioning someone else would have in their mind about you.
Okay. Right.
And if it works well, you know, it's like a passport for you to travel or where to go anywhere that you want. So this is something that people really don't understand. The people who mastered it have succeeded a lot. For me to travel around the globe, I didn't mention I was once invited by Michelle Obama to the White House to to talk on creative economy, and also I was invited to meet Prince Charles.
So glad we don't go to the same school. This guy.
We would have been so underperforming kids.
Right. It's all because of the personal branding that I have built. You need to really understand who your audience are, and then you need to position yourself like any other commercial brand that you take.
Right.
You have a target audience. Same way, you as a personal brand, you have an audience. So if you tap the audience right, if you market yourself properly, yeah, that's the way that you build your own brand.
So it's an attitude, right? Like
attitude is one.
Okay.
So there are actually 3 elements to build your personal brand. One is your personal appearance. And if I speak about appearance, it's not just about the clothes that you wear, even your hygiene, your hair. We don't need to worry about that.
He looked at Yosha when he said hair.
I was like, yes, one succeeded.
Sometimes when I go and do trainings, I say, okay, let's talk about hair. And everyone stares at me. I'm like, although I don't have hair.
You have hair.
All of you have hair. And there's a way to maintain it, right? So your hair to your nails to even your body odor. You know, in Sri Lanka, the deodorant penetration, guess the number.
Just so we know, what do you mean by deodorant penetration?
Like how many people use it?
What is the penetration means? What is the percentage of people?
Oh, you know? 2%.
Okay.
10.
Who's closer? First of all, we'll play this game.
I think you're close.
Yes!
Really that bad?
3%.
Yeah, it's 5%.
Ah, so good.
Right? So it's really bad. Right? So imagine like you walk into a room like this, you know, you're wearing full suit or you're wearing your tie, everything, but you really have a bad body odor. You think you're going to build a brand there?
No.
Absolutely no. So first thing is your personal appearance, your grooming, attractiveness. Second element is your personality. That is your attitude, your behavior, your etiquette. Imagine that you're going for a dinner. How you sit and dine at a proper place.
Right.
Right? And how you actually, even certain people, they don't even have the ability to maintain eye contact with people properly. Having a proper body language, having your verbal communication, your non-verbal communication, all that is important. Third one is your competencies. If you're doing a job, you're an accountant, you're a finance person, you're a seafarer, you should know your job. So that is your cognitive skills, your behavioral skills, your technical skills. Now imagine doctor කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. ලස්සනට ඇඳලා ඉන්නවා doctor. Surgery එක බඩ කපලා doctor බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා.
YouTube.
මේ වගේ කෑල්ලක් කොයිද පොතේ ඉගෙන ගන්න එකක් මතකේ තියෙනවා. Sure නේ මොකද්ද මේ කෑල්ල කියලා. Imagine the situation. Yeah. And I heard there are certain doctors still watch YouTube to do their surgeries. Crazy, isn't it? So all these three things to come together to build a personal brand.
All right.
So in my opinion, in Sri Lanka, competencies-wise, I think we are very good.
Yeah.
But the other two, we really lack. The appearance and personality.
I didn't know that the deodorant was that low. I mean...
I mean, public transport.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's all it takes. one after office public transport session and you're good. You understand.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned that you were part of the Fashion Council.
Yeah.
What is that?
So, Colombo Fashion Council, I founded it because if you take a look at in Sri Lanka, of course we have a lot of fashion weeks, fashion events, etc. But there's certain platform that connects the local designers with international platforms.
Okay.
Right. So we and in the Fashion Council, what we try to do is we try to bridge this gap between our designers and international fashion platforms and get them opportunities to go and showcase their work in international fashion weeks.
Right.
And give them that free platform, because if you want to pay for these things, it costs you a lot. And also for us to tell the world what is Sri Lankan fashion and apparel industry is all about. So last year, I had an opportunity to go and talk at NIFT, that is National Institute of Fashion and Technology in India.
Okay.
Like that is the #1 fashion university of India in Mumbai. Year before last, I had the opportunity to talk in Delhi. So I think I'm the first Sri Lankan to be invited to give a talk at this prestigious university. And that is the time that people knew about Sri Lankan fashion brands and fashion designers and our homegrown brands.
Right.
So this exposure is very important for our country, and this is what we try to do from our Fashion Council. And there's so much of plans that is ahead this year. You all will get to know them.
Super.
That laugh was scary. Yeah, but that sounds amazing. You're doing good work. I misunderstood about the Fashion Council. I thought it's like the ICC controlling fashion in the country. Like, no, you cannot do that. No, you can't do that.
It's the Avengers of fashion.
Yeah, it's the Avengers of the fashion.
I think that should be the goal, to be very honest.
Okay.
But I don't think as a council that we can't control what people do.
Yeah. But helping people to connect to the world, that's...
Yeah.
That's
Because I really think we as Sri Lankan fashion or any professional has so much of ability to go beyond the national level. But only thing is we really don't have the right opportunity for them. And fashion is still considered a mere entertainment with shows rather than a real business. So I really wanted to build a business model and to make sure our designers also get this international market to go and sell, retail, and to make a business out of it.
Have you seen positive response from the foreign companies?
Yes, we do, because we work very closely with certain Indian fashion councils, and I take my designers to the fashion weeks over there. And our designers are always welcome there, and they are very, very supportive and happy to give platforms to our local designers.
Nice.
So we have that much talent here. Only thing is marketability, you really need to improve branding and promotions and also to get into an international retail platform. So our designers need to work on these elements.
Wouldn't, with the rise of social media being so apparent and available, wouldn't that be an easier way to just, and yet?
Again, Amanda, it's pretty sad, right? Now, if you take a look at our local fashion designers, even we are talking about big brands in Sri Lanka.
Right.
How many of them even have an e-commerce site?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Even how many of them even have like a website properly that could actually market them in another country? Do we even have a social media team for fashion brands over here? No, we don't. Just posting a picture about your recently done outfit and then you do certain outfit for certain influencers, that is really not going to help fashion brands. Right? It takes more than that. How many of them actually understood about search engine marketing, search engine optimization, backlinks, internal links? There's so much in digital platform that we could do. Do you think our fashion brands even have like, an understanding about running Google Analytics reports to understand from which countries the traction is coming to their website? They don't. So how are we going to explore the various platforms that could be used? Right? Just putting a post on Facebook and doing an Instagram story is not going to take you anywhere.
Yeah.
So they need some technical training?
They need technical training. They need knowledge expansion. They need to have a digital team who is mastered in this particular skill. Because most of the designers, they try to do it by themselves, which is not going to work.
Right. I guess financially they cannot...
see, the thing is like this. I always believe you need to invest in yourself as a personal brand, and you have to invest in your commercial brand if you have a label. And if you are going to be hesitant about spending that money, I'm sorry, you cannot go big.
You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Is it then complacency in that they just, so I've already kind of made a name, I kind of get some sales, I'm okay with this, and they're okay with this?
Yes, I think that is the problem.
I think so too.
Our ones are very happy and satisfied with the local presence.
Okay.
When I started in the fashion industry, for me, I'm not even a fashion educated person, by the way. I'm not formally trained in fashion at all.
Okay.
2012 was a turning year. There was an award that was announced by British Council called the Young Creative Entrepreneur Fashion and Design Award. I was actually doing some fashion shows and I was consulting few small, medium fashion brands like, fashion, like upcoming designers. And there was a category under fashion marketing that you could apply. 254 contestants from Sri Lanka across 27 creative industries, including architecture, interior design, fashion design, merchandise, etc. I just jolly apply kara, but I did proper application and everything. And there were rounds of shortlisting. And they finally picked 4 as the top finalist. And I was one.
Okay.
And then we have to go and face a judging panel, like 4 of them, 5 of them. And there was like a 1-hour interview and a 15-minute presentation. And the next day I was announced as the winner for Sri Lanka. I'm like, how did this happen? Right? I didn't even have a brand. I didn't have a label. I only had an idea, which I pitched. And the best part is the reward for the award is like a 1-month tour in London.
Okay.
Like a fashion tour, 3 weeks tour, where you meet all the other 54 country winners around the world.
Exchange of ideas.
Yeah. So we get like a tour, study tour. So morning we were all put in the same hotel. We get up, we have our breakfast, then 9 o'clock our tour starts and it'll go till midnight. So you're at London Fashion Week, London Design Festival, you're going and attending fashion workshops, seminars, you're at conferences. It's like knowledge, networking, build contacts, connections. That made me realize, oh my God, what are we doing in Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
Once you see what the outside world is doing, changes your perspective.
Yeah, that's such a small game. Yeah.
That's why I was keep pushing myself to go international, to get this exposure. Even at London Fashion Week, I have just held the model's shoes and I have waited.
Yeah.
I have just gone and dressed people. I never thought it is demeaning to my position, but I was learning.
Yeah.
Right.
And that learning is very, very important. If you are someone, you think, oh, I have achieved everything, I am a big name, I am a big brand, you're never going to grow. You have to learn.
Yeah.
and you need to have that attitude that you don't know much, then only you can absorb and grab from other people. I think that attitude we need to have.
I'm so happy that you won that award, because anyone else would have just been, I went to London and like forgot.
That's it.
They would have
I went to
ended
London.
there. I'm
I
glad.
made a lot of connections.
Yeah.
Before I went to London, I had like 2 months time.
Yeah.
I wrote to people and said, I am the YC winner. Can I come and work with you? That's why I got the chance to work with Lady Gaga's stylist, Susie. So I went and actually worked with her.
In London.
In London. So that is not part of the tour.
Yeah.
So and also after the tour, I stayed back in London, and also I saved the money they gave as our, what do you call, per diem allowance. So I don't go and go to the fine dining restaurants. Other contestants used to go. I used to go and have from McDonald's or from KFC or some Chinese places. Because to travel in Europe, it cost you a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was collecting money, I had a lot of money. Then I traveled a fashion tour. I had a fashion tour around Europe. Paris, Milan, Amsterdam, Germany. I went around to learn about fashion. It actually changed my life, and that was the main reason I came and launched this fashion council for Sri Lanka.
That's amazing. That's something.
Such a life.
You should make a movie out of it.
Yeah, dude.
I just imagine the whole thing in my head.
It was fun. It was fun. And also, like when I went there, there were other contestants, right, from other countries. And the award age category is from 18 to 40.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was 25.
All right.
And we had winners. So I was the youngest in the world that year.
Okay.
So they gave me an award as the youngest creative entrepreneur. So that year, so there were like a lot of guys and girls, or I would say ladies and men from different countries. So it's so packed, the tour. You know, the tour is so packed, and we get invitation to go to fashion weeks and all. These ones, they are tired at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. They're like, battery is gone.
Right.
I'm like, you're not going? Give me your pass. You're not going there? Give me your pass. I used to run from one corner to the other corner. I'll get into the taxi. I'll go to one London Fashion Week show that is from 5 to 5:30, and the other show will be at another location from 5:30 to 6. I'll run because I really was eager to learn, to get that experience, exposure, because it's once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Wow.
So,
this is like Pursuit of Happiness, but in fashion.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Man, that's amazing. Because honestly, if anyone else had won the award, I think it would have just ended there. I think you bringing that information and then trying to bring it here, you deserve another award for that.
Yeah, you just title, I'm the youngest, therefore I deserve everything, and just not do anything about it at all.
That's what anyone would have done, yeah. They would have just boasted about that one award for the rest of their life. Yeah, so that's crazy. Yeah, so...
Prasanna, so Hari, so accolades-wise, you clearly won this game already. But when it comes back to personal branding, where do you think we go wrong?
Where we go wrong, one thing where we go wrong is where we think we know everything.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
We think that we know everything. That is one place that we go wrong. Second thing, although we understand this term, we know the importance, it's a gradual process,
Right.
Amanda. See, I have multiple qualifications. I have almost 3 degrees and 2 masters.
Right.
And I'm doing my 3rd master's, right? The reason why I'm doing that, because that would really help me in my current profession as a trainer, right? The day that you think that you need to expand your knowledge, you will be able to start thinking about building your brand.
Right.
I simply tell one thing. When you go for an online meeting, when people go for an online meeting on Zoom or Teams, the day they switch on their camera is the day they'll start build their personal brand.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Right? Because you go to an event, always the back seats get filled, not the front row seats. When the conference is over, when they ask, do you have a question?
Nobody.
No one actually raised their hand. People are scared to talk. Then if you don't have that visibility, how are you going to build a brand?
Yeah.
For me, every time, wherever I go, I look for opportunities. I'll tell you a very interesting story.
Tell me for something.
Please
Right?
Tell me for something.
Right? So I was at Mumbai last year. I was invited for a sustainable fashion conference. So on the same day, I went to give a talk at this NIFT, and it was a little bit far distance. And I was staying in one particular hotel because the accommodation for us is given at a beautiful 5-star hotel where the conference and the show was happening. So I had to come back to that particular hotel, and I went to this particular conference. It seems to be a little boring. Then I was like, okay, maybe because I went a little late. Then they served us lunch, the Indian lunch, you can imagine. Yeah. So full. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go and sleep in my room, so I'm going to check in. Then when I went upstairs, I could see like one of the most popular designers just walking, Masaba Gupta. I don't know whether you guys have watched in Netflix. There's a series, 2 seasons about her story called Masaba Masaba. Okay. That is one of the biggest hits in Sri Lanka and India, and she is Sir Vivid Richardson's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, and her mother is one of the popular Bollywood actresses.
Okay.
Neena Gupta. I saw her and I was about to get like, I'm like, what?
I can imagine.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, what are you doing here? And she was like, I'm going to talk at this conference. I'm like, thank God. I was about to go and sleep. I said, okay, I'm going to go. Then I went down, and then someone I knew there said, Deepika Padukone is going to come. Okay. I said, what? She's going to come? Because the next topic is about fashion and films.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving this place.
I'm up.
Right. Then they said, sorry, Deepika is not going to make it because she's pregnant. So she has informed that she couldn't come. Then I could hear a lot of buzz going on in a side, and to see Tamanna Bhatia walking. I'm like a big fan of Tamanna. I'm like, oh my God, Tamanna. She walked in, and there were bouncers, security, media. She's a big star in India, right? So she came, and then I was trying to see whether I could talk to her, take a picture. There's no way even I could go close to Tamanna.
Right.
No way. Then I went inside. All the seats were full. I'm like, shit, where am I going to sit? There were only one seat left in the front row. I just ran and sat there. Conference started. They were asking questions. They were speaking about it. And, the knowledge of these actresses and the designers were like amazing among them. I feel like, oh my God, we should have people like this in our own country who could speak about sustainability and fashion. She's an actress.
Right.
And then I could see the moderator was looking at the watch, and the compere, the announcer also looking. I'm like, okay, fine. Now I think they're running out of time. But I really wanted to, put myself, and because very popular Indian TV channels were there, and the big people on the fashion industry, I really wanted to grab their attention, to be very honest.
That's right.
Conference was finishing, and the moderator was like, okay, anyone has any questions? I just put my hands up without even asking a question. No question. They're like, okay, can you please give him the mic?
And what do you ask?
Right? I had the mic. And I'm like, Masaba, you're very popular in Sri Lanka. Your Netflix series was amazing. Now what? I'm just praising them, trying to build a question, right, in my head. Then I was like, okay, so my question is, Tamanna, you wear different type of clothes for so many events. How conscious are you about how this garment is constructed? Whether it has gone through sweatshops, whether children have been used to do this, have they used animal skin? How conscious are you and how important it is? So everyone clapped for that particular question, and all the cameras were like, "Tang, who is this guy?" Right? And then the answers were amazing. So it's all done. I was seated. So I just sat. And that was the only question that was allowed because of the time.
Oh.
If I would have not raised my hand, I would have not got that attention. Right? So then I could see all the camera guys were going, and all of them, but they were all on the stage. They were taking pictures and all. And then Tamanna was seated, and she looked at me, because I already took a picture and I had a conversation with Masaba, but Tamanna, no way. She looked at me, and she was like, good question, right? I'm like, thank you, can I take a picture? She said, come.
Oh my God.
Bouncer, security, I didn't even bother. Right? I'm like, because she asked me to come. Just got onto the stage, went. She said, good question, where are you from? I said, Sri Lanka, introduced myself, and then took a picture, and she said, come, let's go and have a tea.
What?
Went upstairs with her masaba to the other floor, a tea cookie. We spoke about the Sri Lankan fashion industry, sustainability, how it affects. Then I had the privilege of going and putting her into a car.
What?
All because
The question.
I stood, I was seated in the front row.
Yeah.
I raised my hand, I asked a question, and I was visible there.
Right.
If you're not going to be visible among the, people are not going to be noticing you anywhere, right? Now you're doing this particular podcast. I know for a fact you're a model,
Yeah.
right? How many models have come out to put themselves out to do a podcast? Now, I think, see, it's a great thing, but it's not difficult to do at this particular point of time because social media is open to anyone. If someone wanted to make a change, if someone wanted to make a difference, there are so many platforms, not like earlier days.
Right.
But how many actually
Take
doing
the effort.
it?
Yeah.
I went to receive an award in Mumbai. I was judged as the top 100 leaders in training and development in the world.
Right.
When I actually got that particular mail, I thought this is a bogus mail. People, just send these scams.
Scams, yeah.
I didn't even bother to reply. Then they called and said, we have sent you this email. There's no reply from you. Are you really accepting this award or not? I'm like, yes. But I was like confused and scared. I was only 30 years old at that time. When I went to Mumbai Taj lands and this particular award ceremony was happening. So before the award day, the previous night was like the gala dinner where you get all those 100 trainers around the world, they come and mingle and mix. I was hiding a place to hide. Because I was 30. I was not even 30 at that time. And the people who came there around the world had 30 years of experience.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I went to the organizers and said, first of all, why did you pick me?
Right.
For this award? Because there's so many trainers in the country who have so much of experience, knowledge than me. They said, Prasanna, this happens purely through an online scanning, right? You're the only trainer who had a website in Sri Lanka.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We could read about you, we could see your achievements, where others, we couldn't find any information, so you deserve this, don't worry. Again, it's not about how skilled you are, how much hard work that you put, how much effort that you put. But if you don't show it to the outer world,
How would they know?
how do people know?
Bloody hell.
We need a website for this
Bro,
podcast.
man, Takshi.
Takshi, website for this podcast now.
I like how Takshi was like, Prasanna saying that. Takshi was like,
No, it's important. And people ask me this question, Prasanna, don't you think when we do personal branding that people think that we are boasting? People think that we are just monkey praising its own tail. I'm like, let them talk. No, people say this to me as well. Whatever I do, it's on social media. And people say, he is bragging. I'm not bragging. Boasting is where you tell something that is not true, or you add spices to it and, just show a completely different picture.
Right.
Personal branding is authenticity. You tell exactly who you are, what you're capable of, what your competencies are. So don't mix boasting with personal branding.
To add to that, I think, especially in Sri Lanka, what happens is in school, when you are proud of an achievement, you start talking about it, your friends tend to make fun of it. And then when you ask a question, they bully you.
Oh my God.
And I think that is coming into adulthood, that trauma, like you asking that question, I don't think...
Which is so true. Because even in my school, I always sit in the front.
Right.
I was always first in the class. And a lot of students used to hate me for that. Because I'm always like, I put my hands up. And that is the quality still I have with Taman now. Just to put my hands up and asking for a, question.
Right.
So that visibility is important, Amanda. And people don't really have a long-term plan.
Yeah.
If you take any brand, take any commercial brand.
They just go
Take
with the flow.
Coke, Pepsi, take Google. They already have a long-term plan.
Right.
I wrote my strategic success life plan when I was 21 years old. And I was able to achieve a lot because I wrote that particular plan.
Right.
People come to my workshop, they say, oh, yeah, Prasanna, api liyanna plan ekak. They're all motivated after listening to my story. Api me karanna. I'm like, oh, karla mata yawanna. Not a single soul has sent me so far the strategic success life plan to review. So we have all the resources. We have all what we want on the internet. It's all about the effort that you need to take. People are so comfortable going for the work at 9 o'clock, finishing at 5 or I don't know, 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
Come home and they don't even have time to even think about personal development and improvement.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You watch TV for about 2 hours, have dinner, call it night, so you can get up
I also
again.
watch TV for 2 hours,
Right.
Netflix.
But at least you had a plan.
I have a plan
Yeah.
and I write my plan every day. And it keeps me thinking all the time what I should do next, what I should do next.
Right.
How can I improve more? Even this new masters I started because I wanted to up my game.
Right.
I wanted to be more knowledgeable and skillful. If I wanted to go international.
This is such an important podcast.
It
I'm
is, it
so
is.
glad. I'm so glad you said yes to this, man.
It is
Bloody
so
hell.
far the information I given. Now you said that you watch 2 hours on Netflix. With so much you have achieved, how do you find this work-life balance? Like I feel like you're so busy.
Yeah, I currently do 8 different jobs.
Oh, see, how many hours is in there in your day?
Yeah, so I do 8 different jobs, but I strictly don't work after 5:30.
Right.
So I get up and then I go to gym and then I come back. I work from home and different companies that I run and multiple universities I go and lecture. But I strictly work till 5:30. Saturdays I have lectures that I study also I teach. Sundays I don't agree for any work unless someone is going to pay me a big amount.
Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Don't tell that to Takshi.
Right? So I because see, very important that you need to have this balance. Because one day that you look back and you have only earned money in your life and you have not achieved any peace of mind, what's the point?
Yeah.
Now this is where I love about Gen Z
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You know, for them, their achievement is all about
Peace of
inner
mind.
peace,
Yeah.
collecting experience,
Yeah.
collecting memories, not rather just running behind materialistic things.
Yeah.
Although I don't know whether people are going to throw stones at me for saying this, but I've been very brutally honest because I teach young kids for the past 15 years.
Right.
So I see like, you know, how their attitude, their lifestyle, their ambitions are changing. Those days, a successful person is considered successful when they have like a 6-digit salary, when they have a house, when they have a car,
A wife,
a
couple of
wife,
kids,
yeah.
yeah.
But nowadays, none of this is considered a big achievement by the Gen Z people.
Right.
Independent work, whether they could go and work anywhere they want, is considered success.
Flexible hours.
Flexible work hours.
Yeah, that's actually still going on.
A proper
Takshi, you're born in the wrong generation, bro.
right? A proper work-life balance,
Right.
freedom, all right? Also, you know, just go and sit at a desert, stay in Africa watching elephants, and you should be able to
Do
work.
work,
Yeah.
Collect memories. So I'm like leaning towards their, you know, lifestyle because I'm finding it very interesting.
I have a couple of friends who work for Gen Z bosses, and like they start work whenever you want to.
Right.
You can go home whenever you want. Just you have to meet the targets.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So-
Understandable.
For me, even my organization, it's the same.
Yeah.
I don't care whether my staff come, go, what time they work, but I'm not bothered. If they meet their targets, if they show me progress, that is what's important at the end
See,
of the day.
that is a switch, right? Because when I was working at Abans, under one of the bosses I worked at, Abans work Prasanna starts at 8:30. They switch on the ACs at 9.
Oh,
Okay, so you're stuck in that place. At least that's how it was for us. You're stuck until 9 o'clock. You're sweating. You can't put on a tie because it's really hot. The boss I had expected you to be at work at 7:30.
Oh.
Work finishes at 5. He expects you to stay until about 6:30. Your work for the day is done, bro. Like there's nothing more to do. But if you go home early, then the next day he looks at you and saying, "Why did you go home? Don't you have work?" It's
You know what?
Why, dude?
I'm studying business psychology. So we study about organizational culture, diversity, leadership, change management. We need to have another podcast targeting the Sri Lankan bosses.
That's a great podcast. Takshi. Right. Takshi has a thing to say.
How they should manage, because you know psychological well-being is so important,
so-
No one cares.
Yeah.
right? And if you're not going to care about that, your labor turnover is going to be very high.
Yeah.
People will not put their heart and soul. And there's something called a psychological contract. You know, the normal contract is different from a psychological contract. Psychological contract is where your employee is, you know, bound to you to do all these psychological.
Like a loyalty.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
How many employees are having that?
I have done small corporate jobs. I was in one where you need to praise the boss. No matter what he does, he can have the dumbest idea ever. And if you say, wow, sir, that's great, he will, you know, promote you, give you that day off. I have a problem. I talk first and think later. So he hated me. Like, he stopped calling me for meetings also. Like, I was very short. I must have been there for like 1 or 2 months. And by the end of the second month, I couldn't work there. Because he would come with the dumbest ideas. Or he would take someone else's ideas and make it his own. And then everyone would be like, sir, that's great. Wow, you came up with that. I'm like, that was his idea. He said it yesterday. And then they'd be like, no, I came up and it was a whole mess. And as you said, there was a lot of labor turnover. A lot of people quit.
Yeah.
Only the people who like to kiss the back,
Yes.
they stayed back.
So the people who kiss the boss's ass, the people who actually tell tales about others, you know, they survive most of the time.
Yes, they get
But the thing
promotions
is-
also.
They get
Yeah,
promoted.
but the thing is, Amanda, I also have another opinion about this. There's no point that you stay at an organization when you know that environment is toxic.
Right.
Your boss is toxic and you're staying there complaining and and you're not taking any action. What's the point?
100%.
No one is putting a gun on your head and say you have to stay in this
I think you
organization.
repeat that to the camera.
Yeah.
Don't stay. No, you look at this.
Oh, you know, just leave and go and find another job.
Takshi, don't leave.
This is a plan.
Problem is people are so comfortable.
Comfort zone.
We'll get Taksha pillows.
Right? People are so comfortable to be there and they're like, I think මෙතනින් ගියාම ඉතින් අමාරුයිනේ මට මේක පුරුදු තැනක්නේ.
Have to start over.
Start over. Why not start over?
The other thing will be this, right? I am too old to actually start over. That mentality.
Yeah, so that is like utter bullshit. No?
Yeah,
So take a look at like the world's biggest companies.
Yeah.
All the founders were about 40 years old most of the time.
Yeah.
So if they can succeed, why can't you?
Yes. KFC.
KFC. They didn't have SWA.
KFC was 60.
Okay.
KFC was 60. Grey Goose was 65. Bro, if they can, why can't you? Why don't you believe in yourself enough to take that chance?
So we are very good, Amanda, giving excuses.
Right.
We are very good in giving excuses to say, I couldn't do that because of that. I couldn't do this because of this.
Right.
Why not you do it and fail? That's fine.
Yeah.
I have a motto in my life. Try and fail, never fail to try.
We'll get that on a t-shirt.
We need to get a t-shirt.
No, that's a bro. Just write that.
Give me also one.
Yeah.
I was honestly, I was attempting some other ways to make money legally.
Okay.
And
When you say you're tempted to make other means of money.
no. I was trying to find
Okay.
ways to make some passive income, and they
Legally.
all legal. Everything's legal, and everything failed like miserably back to back.
Okay.
And I was just recently just telling him, man, I think I need to take a break because I'm losing a lot of money and all. And he said something similar what you said. You know, at least you tried. You know,
Yeah.
At least you made an effort. And maybe in a few years again, I'll try again.
Yeah, now you know what works and what
Yeah.
You're smart of trying.
Yeah.
It's all about, like, I can proudly say that I tried at least, and my colleagues who didn't try, they will never know that.
I don't know. I've met so many entrepreneurs. I teach a lot of entrepreneurs. I train them. I always saw someone who has put effort, also been very genuine, somehow find their way.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, you think like, I'm in this particular position without any failures. Of course, there was a lot of failures. Starting a business, I started my company when I was 27 years old, almost 10 years back, right? It wasn't easy. I used to go, because as a trainer, I was very young and no one actually gave me an appointment to talk to me. Because they say, Prasanna, you look like a kid. Why you think that I have beard and, make myself look matured? Otherwise, no one actually take you seriously. So I used to go and do trainings, like during lunchtime, nikang, like no money.
Right.
So to show my skills, that's how I started.
Okay. Wow. Anyway, can we bring you back to the world of pageantry? Let's talk about the positives of Sri Lankan pageantry. Any good experiences? Any improvement you've seen?
What
since
was
you
the best experience?
Yeah.
You mean beauty pageants in Sri Lanka
Beauty
or
pageant-
around the world?
First we'll talk Sri Lanka.
First
Sri
we'll talk Sri
Lanka.
Lanka, and then we'll talk around the world.
Okay, so what is my good experience in beauty pageants in Sri Lanka?
I've had nothing. There's no good experience. in Sri Lanka. It's all been shit.
Really?
No, I'm talking about.
No, I won't say that. Initially, when I started judging beauty pageants, they were like very quality pageants. We had very quality pageants.
Around what year is this?
Okay, so this is a little ancient. I would say 2000, when I entered the interest, 10, 11,
Okay.
10, 11, 12, even 13, 14, we had real good quality beauty pageants because we only had 2 to 3 beauty pageants in Sri Lanka.
And the community was small, is it?
It's small, classy, had purpose. National directors were knowledgeable. They knew what they are doing, what
Right.
they are talking. They are qualified. They had experience, no hidden agendas. They had love for the country. That's the time I entered the pageant industry to learn about pageant. I have published articles. I've given so many TV interviews. I was the first Asian to go as a judge for Mr. Earth in 2011.
Nice.
One of the biggest beauty pageants in the world. That gave me a lot of knowledge when I came back. So, but can you believe, my first beauty pageant as a judge was an international pageant, not a local pageant.
Nice. Okay.
After I went to that only, when I came back, only Sri Lankan pageantry people like, who this guy? You went for okay, we should call him to judge our beauty pageant. Internationally, I know method to Lanka. Yeah, so that
It takes time for our people to recognize.
yeah. It has happened to me in all ways. My first choreography for London Fashion Scout, not for Sri Lanka. My first pageant was Mr. and Miss Pan Continental as a choreographer. My first pageant was Mr. Earth as a judge. So most of the time, I've done work internationally.
Right.
Then only I was recognized in Sri Lanka. So that time, the pageant industry was small. We had only 2 Miss Sri Lankas per year. Miss Sri Lanka for Miss World, Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, you throw a stone at someone, they are Mr. Sri Lanka, Miss Sri Lanka. Aurudu Kumara, Aurudu Kumariya.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Good call out.
So your best experience was the older pageants, is it?
No, still we have those pageants.
Okay.
Right, and we have very quality, thank God for those pageants. Right. We have sent few contestants in the past, but again, national directors also lose the purpose of beauty pageants. They sometimes get carried away with money. They get carried away with other benefits that they could expect from the contestants. We could talk about that a little later.
That's coming. You stay tuned for that. Okay.
Right. So the purpose is what matters.
Right.
So when you don't have the purpose, you can't consider the beauty pageant's quality is good.
Okay. But then that is to say that internationally, your favorite pageant experience was London.
No, at Mr. Earth. So
Mr.
I went to Mexico and Guatemala.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was an amazing experience. And it was new for me with so many countries, and they don't even reveal the judges until the last day.
Oh, so you're just random people.
So we are random people with the contestants. So we are partying with them. We are drinking at clubs in the night with them. We go to gym with them. We are at most of the events with them. They don't know we are judges.
Wow.
Right.
So you know after 2 weeks, these are the deserving winners.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, you don't just judge their outer appearance, their fashion sense, or, their way of answering. But you see how good human being they are, how helpful, how confident, their empathy, their reliability, their punctuality, their nutrition elements, the helping nature. You know everything because you're part of that particular
Understood.
group.
They don't do that here in Sri Lanka.
No.
They announce the judges.
Yeah, judges don't have any idea, first of all. I'm sorry.
You learn the last bit of the few is, these are the...
I'm
these are
sorry. Judges, sometimes they sit at beauty pageants.
Yeah.
You can't blame the judges. I will never blame judges. It's all about the national directors to be blamed. Because they are the ones who need to really give the idea about the pageant, the marking criteria, what is looked at the international pageant, how the judging criteria happens, because different pageants happens in different ways.
Right.
Scoring systems are different. Some pageants, they take the entire marks and they take a final mark.
Right.
Some pageants, when the top 8 is selected, your slate is completely cleaned.
Okay, okay.
And again, the marks will, you made it to 0, then you will mark it again. So sometimes judges, they don't know what is happening.
Right.
National director, because all wrong purposes, they get the beauty pageant. So they don't know what is happening. And the poor contestants
Have no idea.
have no idea what's going on. Audience have no idea what's going on. And finally, oh, there's a winner that appears in front of you who has no credential, who has no quality, no ability to represent the country in international pageants.
Okay.
I used to go and judge a lot of beauty pageants. Now I don't get invited by anyone because I'm a troublemaker. I go because no one can manipulate me.
Yeah.
People could just come and tell, hey, do you think you can pick
Okay,
that?
okay.
I'm like, why am I hired for this job? Right? Please don't come close to me. So, how many beauty pageants in Sri Lanka have been manipulated for the results have changed? They have taken money from the contestants. So, yeah, it's a huge scam.
So you said you were a national director for some.
I was national director for Mr. Earth, Mr. and Miss Pan Continental.
Okay.
But then I gave it up. I thought I can't do this because it's a huge responsibility. You need to look for sponsors. You need to look for funds. You need to train those contestants. You need to actually do their wardrobe. I don't have the financial capability. Also, I don't have like that energy to do all these things.
Yeah.
So what I
it's a
should do,
commitment.
I shouldn't just keep it for sake of keeping it.
Right.
I should just let it go.
Yeah.
But it's sad it went into wrong hands.
But Mr. Earth is still happening, right?
It's not happening because of the founder passed away recently.
Oh.
Like the international. Fund.
International, the
Oh.
founder. So because of that reason, it's not happening at the moment. I don't know whether they're going to do it again. But other beauty pageants, I've been given so many beauty pageants. Even like one of the biggest pageants in the world, they gave me the franchise. But the franchise fee is 9 million.
That is Miss Universe? I'm
Yes.
Hey, good for you.
Oh, good.
Good for you.
You know all these things.
I only know Miss World and Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Research.
So I said, I won't be able to do this.
9 million
Yeah.
USD.
No, 9 million Sri Lanka.
Whoa, calm down. Whoa,
Right?
yeah.
And another colleague of ours called Mr. Brian Kirkowen,
Yes.
he was given and he also said that he can't afford it, right? Which is so true.
Yeah.
We need to earn money in different ways.
Yeah.
If we have to, pay 9 million and send a contestant,
Yeah.
right?
But there is an event, right, for Miss Universe?
There was an event last year.
Yes.
This gentleman was one of the compeers.
Hello.
And I made a big fuss and a big scene after
were the judge
pageant.
there?
I was not a judge, I was in the audience.
Critique.
Yeah, but I made a big ha-ho after the pageant.
Yeah.
So someone who didn't deserve. Okay, yeah. My next question was going to be how Sri Lanka fashion compared to the world is, but I feel like you've already answered that
See,
question.
Amanda is keeping silent. He's not even
I was waiting for the last question. The last
he's not
question.
even opening his mouth because he was there.
Amanda was there. Amanda was asked this question by several people who were asking. What happened?
You had to understand my next two questions. I think he's already answered.
That's it. That's it.
So the next question was how is Sri Lanka fashion industry compared to the world? I think we got a clear idea.
Yeah, fashion industry, of course, I think we are good. We are really good compared to the world. I think our fashion designers, in my opinion, they're not second to any international designers.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Right? Our creativity is really good, but I think we can experiment a little bit more, and I think we play a little bit safe.
Too safe.
Yeah, I would say, because see, again, Amanda, like I can't completely say that because our designers also need to cater to our market.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
Right. So because of that particular reason, they try to keep that particular boundary within Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But I think they need to also extend their boundary and go international.
Okay.
And look at those markets and what those market demands, and then reach out to them somehow. And most of the time, when you wanted to go to other countries, there's an investment. Most of our designers are not ready for that particular investment yet. So, yeah. So, if we don't do that, we won't be able to reach to those countries.
But let's say there's a young designer right now watching this, and she wants to study designing.
Oh, he.
Oh, she, and the rest of it.
Donald Trump has said today.
Donald Trump has said 2.
Only
that's
2
2
gender.
genders. That's it. No 72.
Dakshi, please cut that part. All right. So let's say a human being wants to study design, a young human being.
Or an old human being. That's being ageist.
Oh, God. A person wants to study design, a very young person. In Sri Lanka, there's limited places where they can study this, right? Like,
Yeah. There are quite a lot of places, but you need to really understand where there's a accreditation, whether the quality is good in these fashion institutes that they have, and also there's a little bit of a budget constraint as well, right? Not that everyone could afford millions to study fashion, right? But I always tell them there are affordable places in Sri Lanka which give you quality education. Why don't you do your research look, ask, and get your qualification from those places?
Right.
And
Right. But we also have designers who are like, for example, Miss Yolanda Haluvihara, legend in fashion designing, zero education in fashion.
Okay.
Right.
She was an housewife who started drawing batik when her husband was at work.
Okay.
And who became like the biggest brand of the country. So it's all about your creativity.
Yeah.
And your
Right.
dedication to the task. I mean, if you love
And your
it.
dedication, your passion.
Yeah,
You need to love what you do. That is the problem. Any job, any career, you need to be passionate about it, right? So if you're not passionate about it, whatever you do, you go to like the biggest school in fashion, you're not going to become a successful designer.
Then what about in pageantry? Someone who's starting out. Are there any?
Oh my God. Yes. Anyone who wanted to enter. See, the thing is, Amanda, let me ask you a
Yes,
question. So you wanted to become a model from your childhood?
No.
Then was it an accident or is it like a planned thing?
100% accident.
Yeah. Okay, but then you've been very successful. You're is always on a A-list model, on a ramps or on a shoots.
Very hard to see him with the shirt.
I hope only with shirt. Okay, good. But the thing is, I don't understand why our boys and girls really wanted to enter the fashion industry or to become a model. They think when you become a model, like everything is going to fall on their lap, which is not true at all. So because of this desperation to become a model, they would take all the shortcuts, right? They would take all the shortcuts. Don't do that. There are very prominent modeling schools in the country run by veterans of the pageantry and the fashion industry. Google, search, read. If you type someone's name, Google would give you the entire history about that particular person.
Right.
But now we have so many mushroom modeling schools
That's the one.
popping out every day. I'm like, this guy is a trainer? First of all, he should learn how to walk before he trains people. What a disaster is this?
I should open one.
The මට යමන්ටට පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් modeling school එකක්.
At least you'll know where the catwalk is.
See, I think I'm not qualified to even start a modeling school because I'm not a model. I've been not trained. I could teach a model how to speak, how to, answer pageant questions, how to build a personality. I won't be able to teach them how to walk.
Exactly.
You don't believe one of our Miss Sri Lankas who became a Miss Sri Lanka, she went overseas to get a catwalk trained. They asked her to walk and she was trained by someone over here. The trainer over there said, we don't want to even touch you. It's that bad.
Oh.
So, how are we going to compete in international pageants? Last year, I was invited to the Miss World finale. I was invited to the Miss World finale to see the finals of Miss World. Pretty sad to see the international standard.
Yeah.
So, we really need to up the game. We have experts, we have qualified people, but as I told you, if you have the attitude that you know everything, national directors have the attitude they know everything. Some national director, now see, I'm a marketer. I'm very bad in my numbers, finance. So I have hired people who can manage finances for my company.
100%, yeah.
Right? Although my degree is in IT, I'm not a very tech savvy person. So I have my tech people who will help me in my tech. Although I lecture in social media, I won't be able to create content for myself. I have people who can do that. Same way, a national director is just a national director. Some national directors are becoming catwalk trainers.
Okay.
They are becoming personality trainers.
Okay.
And can I tell you another joke? They're also becoming the fitness trainers to the models.
I love him. Sorry. Best.
Don't you think this is absolutely ridiculous?
I think, yeah, it is.
And I saw this video, one national director or the pageant director is teaching the male models who have like very good physique how to do dumbbell press or bench press. I'm like, good, very good, well done. Do what you're capable of doing.
Do what you're supposed to do.
Right? Get support, because we have enough and more talent in this particular country who could really groom a contestant. Also, the contestants also need to understand that they also think that they know everything.
Yes.
When you get a crown as a Mr. Sri Lanka or Miss Sri Lanka, they think, oh, I'm the best.
Nobody.
I'm not putting anyone down here, but I'm telling all these things. Whoever watching, remember that you really need to progress. When I went to Mr. Earth as a judge, the national directors, they come there, they're fighting with each other. For them, there's no going back if their country is not going to win.
Yeah.
And you don't believe the amount of preparation. The person who won, Mr. Puerto Rico, I was having a conversation with him. I'm like, how long that you're preparing for this? 4 years.
Oh, wow. So he won 4 years ago.
No,
he got for this part.
He was 4 years, he's preparing, and he entered the pageant last year.
Okay. Understood. Before the pageantry.
Because that was his goal, to become an international title holder.
Okay.
Like the vision has to be there.
Imagine the preparation. Also, another thing, people think when you're tall, you have six packs, you have fair skin.
That's enough. Yeah.
Oh, I'm winning an international title. Right. I'm sorry, dude, you're not going anywhere.
Sorry about that, bro. Yeah.
Right? You're not going anywhere. Where's your communication skills? Where's your personality? When they're going to ask you, like, when we sit at personal interviews, 6 judges will sit and questions will come one after the other. Yeah. If you're not ready, if you're not prepared, if you're not prepared at least 500 questions before you leave the country, you're not going to handle that pressure.
You end up on a YouTube blooper reel.
Oh, he'll show his
Idiot pageant answers, and then yeah, man.
And we are a very popular country for some idiot pageant answers in the past. And it's all on YouTube. What a shame.
I've seen that.
Oh, there you go.
Right? So, national directors to be blamed and contestants also to be blamed. Prepare yourself. You can't take a break. The time that you put this crown, you have to start working from there onwards.
Yeah.
You cannot just rest and say, oh, I want Miss Sri Lanka, I want Mr. Sri Lanka. This is going to be easy peasy. And though you're contesting with like 120 countries.
Wow.
And they take it very personal. Like, and from my personal experience, right? When I did Miss International in 2018, it was good that a majority of the guys towards the end of the contest, at least, they were in some shape. In Korea, so after winning my thing, I had to look up for what the contest was like, the competition, right? I saw in Korea, it's a minimum requirement for you to have a 6-pack. And then it starts from there.
Okay.
Right, this is everybody shredded, and that should have been our standard. Our standard was, Hari, you look okay here. That is also you can probably work on that for 2 months. It's a hope and pray thing. There and I know this because if you look at the life stories of these K-pop dancers and singers, they dedicate so much of their life to this task that sometimes if your meal allowance for the day calorie wise is a grape, you will have that grape and your friend group will hold you accountable to that grape. Yeah. And these people they're having a conversation and they just pass out because there's nothing in them.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's he's on a great diet. It's okay. Hey, yo, bro, you okay? They'll wake you back
So
up.
same thing, when I go for international pageants, I could see in the morning we go for like a breakfast, right? Like a full spread. And I am just not serving everything. I am not a contestant, I'm just a judge. I'm like a trainer. I am just eating. And you could see all these ones are just having one apple, one orange.
Oh, yeah,
and their national directors are running behind them, telling, you can't take that, you can't eat this.
Dude. Like, in my thing, Prasanna, in Miss National, like, one of the reasons why I felt so bad, Yashan, was next to me was one of my friends. They pop pills as well, man. They're all on steroids. They need to look like the best. They look like marble statues, right? But that's also in that country, Mashan. They feed you oily, greasy food. It's not healthy food, so you can't eat that. If you're on a natural thing, you can't eat that at all. But the guy next to me, who was packing my food and his food and somebody else's food also, he eats that food Prasanna, and after that he takes his packet. He has 6 pills. One is a fat burner, one is D-ball and Adderall and one also. It's all this steroid cycle. But they will take that very willingly, and you sacrifice life. But they very willingly take that, and that is their commitment to this. They are just happy with like, I look okay without a shirt, and like, yeah, I look okay, and we just go like that.
I'm waiting till they start a Mr. Plus size.
You could take part.
I'm preparing for that. I've been preparing all my life.
Super. Now, Prasanna, we come to my favorite question.
Your favorite, the one
Right.
I've been waiting for.
What are the scams, scandals, and exploitations that happen in the pageant industry and the fashion industry here in Sri Lanka?
Oh. Oh my God.
Wait, I just need to get ready for
Are
this
we
stuff.
going to upset people?
Should we start with the music?
Okay, so, fashion industry, of course, I actually don't see like scams, big.
Right.
Only thing is, there are certain designers who exploit models.
Right.
I think
When you say exploit models, what do you mean?
I think more than the female models, male models are exploited.
Yes.
For their physical reasons. Where I know for a fact there are certain designers invite these models to their places and tell them.
Oh, hey, Yoshan, here's a story.
I'm like, tell them, why don't you, let's do a photo shoot. Why don't you come over? So this innocent model just goes to their place. And they're like, okay, I want to just take some trial shots. You think you can take your shirt off? Okay, and these are, innocent guys. They don't know what's going on. Most of them are not even from Colombo. They're like out of Colombo, and they think, this is how it is. Okay, why don't you take your pants off as well?
Oh God.
So everything that, they were asked to take off one by one. And then...
Yoshan, what do you think is next? I just want to zoom in right here.
Right.
This is like a horror movie.
See, I'm not against anyone's sexual orientation.
If consenting adults.
Right. It's if two people like each other, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Completely fine. But you should never use your position and your profession to exploit someone.
Yeah.
Right. But Amanda, I think currently it has reduced a lot.
Right.
From what I know, from what people have told me, but I really don't know how it's happening at a mass scale.
Yeah.
Right. And so many, even if you take a look at my gym trainers to, other people who work out at the gym, they come and tell me, they show me pictures. Meya fashion industry ke ekkenekda? I'm like, oh God, why? Now what did he say? Meya ogalange me designer kenekda? Meya ogalange makeup? Mata enna kiwwa gedara. Mata me photos yawanna kiwwane meya. Mema api yawanna onada? Where do I keep my face? And I know these guys as well, know these people. So it's really bad. Don't do this, and no one is expecting you to, you don't need to do this.
Yeah, no international person will actually ask you
for that.
Yeah.
Right? No one would ask you for this. So you really don't need to sleep with someone openly to get a job.
Yeah.
That means you're not talented or you are not getting there in the right, credible way. So don't do that.
But if they refuse, will they lose the...
Yes.
So then...
See, I don't agree with that, Amanda, right? Now, the ones who exploit these models, they are not like the big ones in this country.
Okay.
They are not like the well-established designers. No.
Right.
They are not like the fashion houses. No.
Okay.
They are not like the biggest fashion week organizers. No. These are like small players. Sometimes we don't even know them. We have not even heard of their names.
Okay.
But they portray they are big.
Okay.
And these innocent kids also think they are big without doing any research, understanding who they are,
That's it.
just going there.
Yeah.
So it's actually their unawareness,
Ignorance.
Yeah.
ignorance. So that is fashion. Pageant, oh my God, that is the biggest scam of this country.
Okay.
Biggest scam. Number one, not everyone, so please don't take me wrong, not
Right.
every national director is like that. We have some good national directors, I could say one or two,
Right.
right? But rest, all scams. People do pageants for multiple motives.
Right.
First motive is to make money. What do? They ask the contestants, before even the pageant starts, so this is a joke, before even you invite the pageant, like you put advertisements and they call and say, "Me, mama pageant එකක් කරනවා. මේ crown එක ඔයාට දෙන්නම්. ඔයා එන්න ලක්ෂ 40ක් ඇති."
Oh, so the crown is already promised.
Crown is already promised before even the pageant starts.
Okay.
Isn't it right? It's completely wrong. How can you promise a crown? Then why are you doing a pageant? Very simple. I always tell, if you're promising someone a crown, don't do a pageant and waste other people's
Just give the crown.
time.
Yeah.
Just give that particular crown and nominate that person. Let that person go and do whatever in international pageant. So that is one. Second exploitation, they say, you come and sleep with me, I'll give you the crown.
Okay.
Or at least I'll make you top 5.
Right.
Right? Or top 10 or whatever. So some of these guys and girls, they are ready to even do that because they are going to get like a space there. And when they win, okay, so fine. Okay, fine. You have gone. You have given a sexual favor. You have given a sexual favor. You have won a crown. Nah. What happens after that? Okay, pay for your air ticket, pay for your accommodation, pay for your... So, national director metana මොනවත් කරන්නේ. Right? මොනවත් කරන්නේ. So, ඒ පුද්ගලයා pageant එක දිනන්නත් ඕනේ. You need to win the pageant. Also need to pay for everything. Recently, one of these guys who works at my gym, who trains at my gym, he has gone to a beauty pageant. He has won. And the national director has charged him $1,500 to $2,000.
To take part.
No, after he won.
After you won.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So normally you only give $2,000 to the winner.
Why did he
The
charge?
national said, "Me, mama have yavannan me Vietnam ekata, oage ticket ekata, accommodation ekata, ekata mekata arakata kiyala has given a list, and this guy has taken bank loan. So many people have taken bank loans. One of my friend who has sent his sister to a beauty pageant still paying loans. Isn't it like these are like crime? Right? And this guy has gone to the Vietnam, the international pageant, and he has got a letter saying everything is given free of charge to you except for your ticket. So imagine how the national director has played. God. And this is the national director recently did a huge female beauty pageant.
Ah, I see.
I'm clueless. I'll ask you after the show.
Yeah. Who did a female beauty pageant.
Right.
Right? So people, anyone who has an hidden motive, and we have so many national directors who has taken beauty pageants only in the aim of sleeping with contestants.
Yeah.
That is the only. You have multiple apps if you really want to do this. I really don't understand why they need to take so much effort, put their money also into this, and go into so much of humiliation, and why they wanted to do this.
Can they report to authorities about this? Or?
No, who is going to report? Obviously the person who's, now say for an example, if I've been exploited by someone, I have the gut to open up and say, but how many will actually go out to talk about it? People won't.
Right.
Because they will feel scared, first of all, and also they also will feel ashamed to go and say that someone sexually, especially if you're a guy.
Especially if you're a guy. So that's the thing, right? So I was doing, Prasanna, I was doing mental health awareness for Mars. right? So for the lecture, more than men's mental health awareness, I just want to do just an overview of what it's like. I found out that the number of sexually discriminated males in Sri Lanka is still up to this date undisclosed. Because...
Discriminated or assaulted?
Assaulted,
discriminated.
or abused, or even
Abused.
even a touch without a consent.
Yeah, right. It is still up to this date undisclosed because guys don't feel like coming forward and saying it. Because if something happens to me and I go to the police station, first they'll laugh at me.
Yeah.
Right? If I was sexually assaulted against by a woman, then they say, oh, a girl beat you up, chick.
Yeah.
Right?
But
If
did you
say-
enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right. But you enjoyed it much on Sunday. If a guy did it, it's even worse.
Oh.
And then that's how they look at it. So guys just, you just deny it and deny it and deny it. And in the end, it's just killing you on the inside. So nobody comes and talk about it.
No, someone actually messaged me on Facebook saying that he went to a modeling class of someone who we all know,
Okay.
and said he was given a pill, he was given a sweet at the end of the class, and he was unconscious, and he feel that he was sexually abused. Right? I'm like, this is a very, very serious claim that you're making.
Right.
Are you sure? He said, yes, I'm sure. I said, okay, fine. And he said, he want my help. I said, okay, fine. I will help you. But if you wanted to make a legal action, then you need to make a legal, what do you call it?
Inquiry.
Not inquiry, like a complaint.
Right,
about this.
right.
You have to come. No, I can't do that. What if my family gets to know about this? And then I said, then what you are expecting me to do?
What are you supposed to do?
And he started just shouting at me saying, you don't understand my pain and my humiliation, what I've gone through. I said, dude, I don't even know you in the first place. If you want me to support you, you need to open up and talk.
Yeah.
And you have to tell, I can take you to the police station and maybe allow you to lodge a complaint, but open up. And he stopped talking to me after that. I'm like, what can I do?
What did he want you to do?
Like, take action against that person?
Right.
I'm like, on which basis? And who am I? I'm not a police.
Yeah, plus if you go to that guy and say, you did this to this boy and this guy say, no, actually not.
Yeah, what if he withdraws in the middle?
And first of all, it's actually, if someone is not steady about their complaint or their claim, they shouldn't even first of all approach anyone.
Right.
So if you're approaching, make sure that you approach the right person. Right? Now see, in Sri Lanka, we have certain beauty pageants. Every day it's scam. There are news on the TV. We have news internationally. We are very popular internationally when it comes to beauty pageants, all our scams. Still, people still go for those pageants. It is like, recently I watched, Squid Games, right?
Right, yes.
And when people, did you watch season 2?
Not yet.
Where people have the option to stop the game.
Right.
They still go ahead with it because of the greed for money that is more than their life. Same concept with pageants. You can be humiliated, you can go through shit, your name can be exploited. Still you choose your fame. Over your dignity and your grace. So unless you change, the system cannot be changed.
Maybe we need a monitoring body for this.
Yo, I love this podcast. Hariprasan, any advice to somebody who is trying to enter the fashion industry given all these claims?
Yeah, so if I say fashion industry, you need to have a passion to become a designer. Because you see the name and fame of a senior designer, successful designer, don't overnight think, oh, I'm going to get this name and fame overnight. It's only happening in Hindi movies, in Hindi songs. Where someone is starting a design course at the beginning of the song, at the end of the day, it's an international brand, which is never going to happen in your life.
And Shah Rukh Khan appears in the brand also?
Correct.
Right.
So that's not going to happen.
Right.
So unless you're very passionate about it, you really want to do it, don't do it. Right. So, and pick the right platform, the right school for you to go and learn. And another major mistake our young students do, they try to copy. Inspiration is different, copying is different.
Right.
You can get inspired by local designers, international designers. You could see their silhouettes, the colors that they have used, palettes they have used, even their concepts. You can just get inspired. Don't try to go and copy. Try to identify your unique style.
Right.
And individuality is very, very important. You need to create a name for yourself, and your designs need to speak for you. So that is my advice for the fashion industry people, and explore.
Right.
Opportunities, don't get stuck in a small box. Explore and see what is the world to offer you. That is number one.
Right.
When it comes to pageants or modeling,
That's the one I want to get to, yes.
right? Pageants or modeling, please, I'm telling you, research and find out places that could guide you properly.
Right.
Right? And also remember, modeling is not just about ramp. It's not about just walking on the ramp. For that, you need to have the right physique. You have to have the height, it's must. And not that we all Sri Lankans are born with that height of Amanda. Right? We are not. But there are other avenues of modeling.
Yeah,
You have the
it
body
doesn't stop
modeling,
there. Yeah, absolutely.
body modeling, you have like the face modeling, you have like the hoarding, you have the TV, press modeling. You have so many areas. You can explore these areas as well. But don't pick modeling schools, because we have almost like 30 modeling schools in this country and maybe only 3 recognized.
For such a small country.
For such a small country. So imagine like almost 20-25 unrecognized modeling schools. Right. And those schools are the ones who have higher number of students. Not the recognized ones.
Who recognizes that? Like there's a body that recognizes?
No body, but as an industry professional, we know who are the founders of these. So they are like in the industry for a long time. They have experience, they have molded models, they have given them work. So, but these unpopular modeling schools, they have, you don't believe, a recent graduation show I saw, which had 150 models.
Oh, yeah. Yosha, what are we doing, man?
What we opening
This is
school?
Yeah. I think we should be making money by opening
minting.
But I'm sure they are not going to come. Because if I'm going to start a modeling school, it's going to be a very good screening process. I will screen them.
We fire him.
Oh, yeah, Prasad man.
Yeah, modeling school karana ba. You will be running at a loss. Modeler.
Malli usai, Malli.
Like, so fine, it's all right. Like, you could just give opportunities to everyone. But pick the right place.
Yeah.
And, and also the ones who are entering the beauty pageant. Remember one thing. First of all, research and understand what is this international beauty pageant is all about.
Oh, please, yes.
World, tourism, universe, globe, all these words are like they throw the word and then they just close their eyes and they pick and they're like, okay, let's make a new name. New modeling pageant, new beauty pageant. And these beauty pageants happens in like a small hotel room with 5 contestants, 6 contestants. What is the purpose? Why are you spending millions taking bank loan and pawning your mother's jewelries and going to these shitty beauty pageants? To do what?
To wear a sash.
Where? Now see, for example, Amanda, now if there's a purpose, it makes sense, okay? You're going for this pageant, we are coming back, you're recognized.
Right.
You're going to get work in movies.
Right.
You're going to get TV commercials. You're going to make a lot of money, right? I'm giving you all my support, go.
Right.
After you come back, no one even recognizes you.
Yeah.
No one even know you. Recently there are people said, oh, I won this. I said, what is the pageant? I said, oh, really? There's a pageant like that? How many countries come? 6. So, like the Sri Lankan national directors, the international modeling mafia or like the pageant mafia, they do pageants to sleep with international contestants.
See, that's thinking ahead, Yosha. Don't play the Sri Lankan game, play international game.
Yeah, and one person, a national director in Sri Lanka, calls me and says, sir, I said, what? Sir, apit Lankavi international modeling pageant ekak patan gamuda? I said, ay, nah, sir, asai apita karan international pageant. I said, hey, Lanka minister එක නිදාගත්ත එක මදි පිටරට ඉන්න උන එකත් නිදාගන්නද? He kept the phone, didn't call me after that.
Understandable.
But do you think there's a chance of having international pageant in the right way in Sri Lanka?
Legally. No sleeping around.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
We tried to get Miss World to Sri Lanka once.
Yeah, I heard.
Right? The amount that you pay the Miss World organization to bring that pageant to your country is like some 1,100 millions. As a country, we can't afford it.
You know the GDP for that, bro.
But I know if we can afford it, it's a good tourist thing, right? Like, no,
Yeah, but I don't think like we can afford
It's
it.
not
at
that
the moment.
feasible. Yeah.
It's so expensive to host a beauty pageant in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So if you are going to enter modeling, if you are going to enter pageants, please Google කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. Please ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන්න. Don't just use Google to type the word sex and porn.
Takshi.
Right? Google can be used to search for good
Other
information,
things, right.
other things. Talk to people, talk to your senior models and ask. Then you might be getting so many messages. No. Call and ask them. Kokada hari thana apita yanna.
Yes, please.
There are a lot of people are willing to help. See, I am telling, not everyone is bad.
Yeah.
If you take a look at like 40, 30 people who are corrupt, there are 60, 70 good people in this industry who really love fashion industry.
And they want you also to succeed.
Succeed.
Yeah.
So, යන්නකො එතනට but මොක්කම යන්නේ අනිත්‍යයටනේ.
Shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
Maybe in the good school they scold the students and මම කරන්නේ බූරුවා and all that.
තුන ඇවිදින්න බෑනේ ගොම්බුරුවා.
And the bad schools they're like අනේ බබා එන්න.
And I know recently beauty pageant එකක් තියලා තිබ්බා. Contestants ලව පොලිමේ තියලා they have given everyone a title.
Huh?
Yes, 16 people were standing in the queue to go and get like a Mr. That, Mr. This, Mr. Universe Tourism, Mr. Model Face of the Beauty, Mr. Model Man Hunt, all type of name jumbled international pageant. This guy has got 16 to 18 franchises and given. May sash, Anit sash. Thank God I was invited for this pageant. I didn't even go.
Should I be a pageant model?
It's
a good business, man.
I mean, they're getting 60. I can have a chance of winning.
You can get girls and money.
I mean, I can win one. Imagine Mr. World.
Oh yeah, Mr. Worldwide.
We need to put
Mr. Worldwide.
maybe we need to put a wig and maybe a dress. Yeah, like that. You can win a pageant.
How? Mr. and Mr. What a podcast. Wow. I'm so enlightened. I mean, I didn't know it was this bad.
Welcome to this world.
I really didn't know. Like, it's...
I hope this podcast will create some awareness.
It should.
It will.
People will actually...
Takshi's all going to take part in this.
Takshi has now deleted all her search history.
Miss Universe. Miss Universe next Takshi. Super. Prasanna, thank you so much for taking so much time. Like, taking such precious time to come and talk to us about something that I am also so passionate about. And something that the message does not get out, man.
Yeah.
Like, you hear the off stories one off, but nobody comes and talks about like this. So thank you so much for the courage to actually come and talk about
Actually,
this.
yeah. And
Thank you for asking me good questions. Because you know why? The good answers come only when you ask good, bold questions. And that is something we don't do in most of the podcasts and shows.
Yes.
It's all about උදේ මොකද්ද කෑවේ, රැට මොකද්ද ඔයා කරන්නේ.
that was my next question. ඔලුවට මොනවද ගාන්නේ?
මගේ ඔලුවට මොනවද ගාන්න මොනවද ඉතුරු වෙලා නැහැ. So I think I really enjoyed this podcast and thank you so much, guys. It was
Thank you
such
so
a
much.
wonderful,
Thank you.
conversation.
All right. So with that, we'll wrap up the episode.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be another model a future model in Sri Lanka and a future face, you know who to talk to. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.